beautiful soul. Welcome back to this week's edition of the You Unlimited podcast. I'm so grateful you're here. We're going to be tuning into numerology and how we can utilize this to amplify our business and also amplify our life and really connect to our soul, the spiritual realm, all of the above. So I'm really excited to dig into this. So if you are new to numerology, or you're kind of seasoned in it and you're just a little bit curious on how you can take it further in business, then you are in the right place to start to really dig into how I utilize numerology in my life to really start to amplify what it is that I'm building and the energy that's all around me and that I'm kind of culminating and leading into. So when we think about numerology, when I first started to wake up to numerology was when I was having my own spiritual awakening, where I would start to notice things like 111 on the clock, or I would start to notice 333, things of that nature. So we call these the three sequences of numbers, like the three different numbers back to back that are the same. We call these angel numbers. And granted, angel numbers can be any sequence, but there's something really beautiful about all three numbers coming together to amplify one another and to tell a certain story. So, this first and foremost is how your angels and guides are trying to speak to you in different ways. And so, it's really powerful when we start to take notice of what are the numbers that I'm seeing? Is it 1111? Is it 1212, 4747? Are we noticing numbers either on repeat or did while I was in a moment of kind of thinking or pondering something, did an address catch my eye that felt like a pattern of some kind, 4747? These are all your angels and guides trying to speak to you in certain ways to help you in the next step or to kind of help you with where you're at currently or presently and what you're stepping into. So take notice when you look down at your phone and you notice that you keep seeing the same time over and over again. Or again, you're deep in thought and you're on a walk and you notice an address that you've never noticed before. If it feels significant, then it is. So, what I do and what I started to do when I was learning about numerology and wanting to kind of better understand how to utilize the intuitive pings is I actually use AI to start to really tune in and to say, but here's how I use AI and my intuition so that the two can work in tandem. So, for instance, if you're using AI and you're deciding to use ChatGPT or Grok or whatever tool that you're using, what I like to do is, of course, prompt it in a way that's going to support me and give me the most soul aligned response. So, I'll say something like, act as if you're the most sought after psychic, medium, numerologist in the world. What is the spiritual meaning of 333? And then I let it fill itself out, give me the answers. And then from there, I use my body and my intuition to say, what part of this feels most aligned and what part of this can I release? Because again, what AI is essentially doing is it's culminating and combing the internet and pulling in all of these different channeled messages. But it's our job, our responsibility to say, I'm not just going to take that at face value. I'm not just going to say, like, yes, that's truth. I get to tune in and say, but what if this feels like my truth? And what if this might be for someone else? None of it's right or wrong. But again, it's about tuning in to say, which of this feels like it's a message for me? Now, before AI was really a thing, I used Google. And so I would just type into Google, what is the spiritual meaning of 333? And then I would look at the first 5 or 6 summaries and links that showed up. I wouldn't even click in them. I just looked at the first like sentence or two that it kind of gives you the summary. And I would look at those and say, which of these feel like most relevant to what I'm going through right now? And then I would click that one to read more. So again, me using my intuition to tune in and say, I'm being given lots of different information, but what if this actually feels like it's mine? And what if this is not mine? And how can I start to tune in and better understand how to utilize the information that I'm receiving? So, if you listened to last week's podcast, it was all about using your body as a compass. So, this is kind of piggybacking off of that. It's about now you're receiving outside stimuli, such as numerology. How can you use your body as a compass, your intuition as a compass, to start to really tune in and lean in and say, okay, What is this trying to tell me though? And what of this information, this stimuli is mine? What is not mine? So that's first and foremost. Your angels and guides are trying to speak to you, and they are speaking to you through different things like numbers, right? So when we start to know this, you're going to notice your angels and guides doing it more and more often. So instead of just looking at it and kind of putting it in a shoebox and walking away, your goal is to actually say, okay, let me look that up and see if there's some sort of a puzzle piece here that's going to help me step into the next iteration of something, right? So that's the first piece is your angels and guides are always speaking to you. Let's start to decode what it is they're trying to teach you through tools like AI, tools like Google, but use your intuition to say, but what if that is actually mine? So that's going to help guide you. That's going to help you lean into, okay, I'm getting the validation to move forward with this thing, or I'm getting the validation to actually put this down, or I'm complete with this. Very interesting. So it's really fun when you start to actually receive the validation that your heart and soul is desiring. And I think you're going to start to notice more and more when these sequences and patterns of numbers show up. And the goal is instead of ignoring it or just kind of being like, oh, how cute, like I see like 111 again, actually tune into the frequency of that. And then you'll start to kind of recognize patterns. And you might be like, oh, well, every time I see a one or every time I see a 222, this is what it's meant for me before. And you'll actually start to kind of co create your own internal language with it, with you and your guides. So it's kind of like you being able to kind of say, okay, I'm going to study it a little bit. I'm going to kind of understand what this could mean. And now I know what it means for me specifically. So now that's my chosen language. So anytime I see an eight, for me, that means abundance, right? I think of the infinity sign and the eight. And that always, to me, that number has always meant abundance. Like it's the thing that's all connected and it keeps going and round and round and round and round. So when I see an eight, I immediately think of abundance, right? So now if I'm seeing 888 or things of that nature, that's going to really allow me to tune in and say, okay, abundance is here for me. What is it trying to teach me? Right? So again, you're kind of creating and co-creating a language between you and your angels and guides, which is really fun. And the next way that I use it in my business is I like to use this with my pricing because, and I don't just do it because it's one of those like, oh, it's so cute. Everyone's using angel numbers in their prices. For me, the numbers are codes and they are an invitation to the person that is stepping into a container that I am holding. So the codes hold something very specific. When I price things, I am tuned into the energy and the frequency of the code that it's holding. So for instance, a lot of my pricing will have the number 8 in it because people come to me to learn about wealth energetics. They want to expand their abundance even more than they already have. They want to go past the multiple six-figure mark into seven figures, right? Or wherever they're at in business, they're wanting to amplify and step into this next level version of business. So for me, the number 8 again has always felt like abundance. And so I price things with the number 8 in it because I want people to tap into that code when they're stepping into a container. So I utilize angel numbers in different ways or numbers in different ways so that when someone is stepping in, there's not only the conscious things that they're stepping into, there's a lot of unconscious energy that's at play, that's behind the scenes, that's moving through the container itself, and it's amplifying the energy in the space. So I'm very intentional about the way that I price things, the energy that's being coded in the space, what we're alchemizing, what we're amplifying, things of that nature. And numerology and pricing and coding and things of that nature can really help to amplify the space. So I was just working with one of my one-on-one clients on this specifically, where we were tuning into her pricing and she was using, AI to kind of start to pull together the different packages and things of that nature. And when I was looking at it, I was like, this feels very 3D. Like it just feels very like AI pulled this together. It's missing your magic. And it feels like an invitation for you to really pull in the magic that is you and amplify that in the space from the pricing to the simplification of what you're offering. There were so many things listed in there that I'm like, I'm looking at this and I'm not even clear what I'm looking at. So it was a beautiful opportunity for her to say, let me simplify. Let me also tune into numbers that inspire me to be able to serve. and also inspire the person stepping into the container. So when I say that numbers hold meaning, the cool thing about that is when I'm pricing something, when I think about this from a wealth energetics perspective, I want to price it as something that is going to expand me as the person that's holding the container so that the person that's stepping in will be expanded that much more. The goal is you want to feel expanded by the container and you want the person stepping in to say, I'm ready to expand into this version of me. So the pricing itself, when we're bringing in numerology and then the energy behind the numbers, is meant to expand the person that is stepping in. So I always say, if let's say you're wanting to step into a container, they give you the price point and you're like, oh, that's like nothing. Energetically, you've probably outgrown that container then. So if I, step into a space and they're like, yeah, that'll be $12. I'm like, huh, okay. But if let's say I'm looking at something on Amazon, right? And it's like it's $12 for this item and the exact same item that's also made in the exact same place is $97. Energetically, I feel that the $97 one will be more effective for whatever it is that it's going to do than the $12 one, even if they are the exact same product made by the exact same manufacturer. There is something within me that's saying the $97 one is going to be last longer. It's going to give me what I need. I feel more like that one is actually the one that's going to take me to where I want to go. So I feel expanded by the $97 one, and therefore the placebo effect is going to make me have that experience with this product and I'm going to use it more. I'm going to actually notice that it's working better because energetically I've aligned with the fact that it is a quality product versus a cheap product, right? We do this when we step into containers, energetic containers, when we step in and we work with mentors, with healers, with strategists, whoever it is that we're leaning into. We are meant to feel expanded by the number, the price point, the investment, the energetic investment they're giving us in some sort of way, right? Or we've outgrown the container. If they're like, it's $12 to work with me, I would be like, what am I missing? Because I feel like you're not valuing your time, and therefore I'm now plugging into someone energetically that's not valuing themselves and their time. Is that really where I want to be plugged into? Or do I want to be plugged into the energy of someone who knows their worth, that creates containers that allow you to expand into them, that really has done the work to be able to call in this amount of wealth? Like if I'm wanting to learn wealth energetics from someone, or I'm wanting to learn strategy from someone, and they give me the price point, and I'm like, ooh, that's a little stretchy, but also I believe you're my person. I can feel it in my bones. I know that you're meant to serve in the way that I feel safest to receive the information. If all the boxes are checked, suddenly that price point becomes an energetic exchange that has the person leaning in expand, and it has you as the facilitator expand into how you hold that container as well. So, for instance, if you are undercharging for your service, you are actually going to step into that container not serving to your highest capacity, already feeling overworked and underpaid. There's going to be certain resentment or heavy energy that's not going to allow your client to get the breakthroughs that their soul is deeply desiring. So when we undercharge for things, it's actually deeply impacting the outcome that your client is going to be able to receive because you're already not really fully in it. You've got one foot in, one foot out, and you're feeling a little bit overworked and underpaid and things of that nature. But if you price something and you're like, man, that feels good. If someone paid me that, I would show up in my A+ game every single time. I would be the person that they needed me to be to help move the energy for them to get to the other side. Or I would give them so much more in the space, or I would deliver XYZ because that would feel so good to me. That is how you know that your price point is expanding you to therefore facilitate and be a conduit for the expansion that they're stepping into as well. So it's really important from a numerology perspective, from an energetics perspective, that our pricing is on point with where our energy is and what we're expanding into. So I always say from a pricing perspective as well, if something starts to feel heavy, for instance, you just sold some sort of a package, and let's say it's a 3-month container or whatever that looks like, and you're 3 weeks in and you're like, man, I feel like I am over delivering and kind of undercharging for this, or I feel like it just feels heavy. I'm not able to fully serve at the highest capacity. That's your indication that your prices probably need to go up so that you feel more energetically aligned to step into that container and fully serve. So tune in. Does that make sense? It's all about starting to really tune into the fact that numbers are holding codes, they're holding energy, your angels and guides are desiring to speak to you, and simultaneously there's fun ways to play with numbers so that amplification of energy is happening on all sides of a container. So this is a really beautiful way to really start to lean into numerology in different ways. Other ways that you can tune in is really starting to understand what is this year for me? Like, what is the energy that I'm leaning into? So, for instance, we talked about 2025 being the year of the snake, and then 2026 being the year of the fire horse, right? You have your own personal numerology and energy that you're leaning into as well. So, what could be really fun as well, another way to start to kind of like play with the energy of how am I really amplifying what I'm building in business and in life is again utilizing either Google or AI to say, prompt it similar as I said before, act as if you're the most sought after psychic medium numerologist in the world. If I was born on March 2nd of 19, enter your year, right? What is the numerology that I'm leaning into this time for my birthday, right? Or you could just say, what is the year of 38 mean, 56 mean, 27 mean, right? If I'm 27 years old, or I'm 40 years old, or 59 years old, whatever age you are, if I am this age, what is the numerology trying to tell me? What is the spiritual meaning behind this age currently? And what are the different themes that I'm leaning into? How can I amplify what the numerology is trying to teach me and guide me into? So that's another really fun way to play and lean into different numerology and how it can really amplify your life, your business, the energy that you're really tuned into. So, that is another way that I would say absolutely lean in and allow yourself to be guided, led. But again, above all else, your intuition is what matters most. So, no matter what AI is spitting out to you, your coaches or mentors are spitting out to you, Google is spitting out to you, how does your body feel in connection to the number or connection to the stimuli or connection to whatever it is that you're receiving? That is undoubtedly your answer every single time. But sometimes we need something to react to. And the way that we can do that are some of the examples that I've given up above. So, if this resonated with you, I am so grateful for you to just play with this. Allow yourself to have fun with it, not to add too much pressure to the way that you're pricing things or pressure to the way that you should lean in or should not lean in. The goal is have fun. Let yourself be reminded that you are not doing this alone. Your angels and guides are supporting you, that everything you're creating can be coded with certain energy. And it's so important to tune into your own energy and say, how can I best serve? But how can I best serve? Right? So I am sending you so much light and love. And until next time. Mwah.